Three kinds of texts men love to receive. But before we go over the three texts that men love to receive, let's go over today's quote of the day. One day or day one, you decide. One day or day one, you decide. By unknown. I don't know who said this quote, but I found it online, and it's a very nice, unique little cute quote. One day or day one, you decide. So basically it's a quote, it's a motivational quote, basically telling you, hey, any random day, you're going to begin your project that you've been holding off and keeping on the back burner, or, you're going to start is today, day one. So one day or day one, you decide, So before we go over the three, make sure you stick around for the third one. The third, three kinds of text men love to receive. Make sure you stay for the third one, because the third one is very important. The first kind of text men love to receive is you give value to your text. So what's an example of that? Instead of saying, hey, what's going on? Or, hey, what are you up to? What you want to do is you want to give value to your text, where it's like kind of like it's leaving him with, like he's laughing at the text, he's smiling at the text, it's a nice little cute message. So you want to send him, instead of sending him something like, hey, what are you up to? Hey, how are you? Whatever, like some simple stuff like that. You want to send him like a picture, a funny picture that you guys have had together, like a nice little memory that he could think back to and then respond from that, or like a funny reel, a funny little YouTube video or something like that. Sending him something like that is different than saying, hey, how are you? It's a little boring. It's a little dull. It's what most people do. You want to be a little different. You want to be unique. Number two, out of the three kinds of texts men love to receive is basically it's not a text, it's not a style of a text, but basically you want to eliminate question marks in your text. So instead of saying, for example, something like, hey, I'm going to the mall today, would you like to come? Instead of saying something like that, be like, hey, I'm going to the mall at 7, you should come, exclamation mark. Or, I'm having a barbecue this weekend with the girls, you should try to make it. Hey, instead of, hey, I'm having a barbecue with the girls, would you like to come? By leaving that question mark, you're leaving room for rejection, and he could come up with any kind of excuse and say, nah, I'm doing stuff with the guys or whatever it is, So instead of just doing it like that, you leave in a statement, and he doesn't have to respond to it instantly. He could look at it, think about it later. Maybe the weekend comes up and he remembers that you messaged him that, and then it's like, oh, let me hit her up. Instead of him rejecting you, and then later on he becomes free, for example, and then now all of a sudden he could come, but now he rejected you. He doesn't want to double back, so he feels bad about it. By you sending them the statement instead of a question mark, you made things way easier for him, and you made it easier for yourself, for your own self-worth and your confidence, instead of him rejecting you or whatever it is, that he can do. Here's number three kinds of texts men love to receive. So you want to use text to communicate your standards or assert your standards. What does that mean? I'll give you an example. Let's say that for one time I went to New York City. I went to go grab lunch. Well, I didn't get there yet. I was on my way there. So I figured, hey, let me hit up, so-and-so, this girl that I know. I know she lives in the city. Maybe she'll be able to make it. But I hit her up 1 hour prior to it. So the way she responded, or the way you would respond to your man, is this, right? There's different kinds of approaches. Some girls, they'll take on the approach of a very assertive approach, like, hey, I don't do these 1 hour spontaneous, like, just freestyle, like, random invites, and that's it. They just leave it like that. So now the guy feels kind of bad. He feels kind of shitty. It's like you put him in a situation where he feels like an asshole or whatever it is for no reason. He was just trying to do a good gesture by inviting you out, and you just left him with so instead of doing something like that, you want to basically use text to communicate your standards, or, assert your standard, but in a cute way. So instead of saying, hey, no, I don't do these 1 hour spontaneous meetups, and just leave it at that. No, be like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't make it. Try, next time it would be nice if you gave me a little more of a heads up. So, but I'll try to make it next time with a winky face, or maybe next time I can't make it this time with a smiley face, or like some kind of like funny emoji or a funny, cute little, just a funny like response, troll him, troll with the rejection instead of being just straight up with it, So these are 3 kinds of texts men love to receive. Stay subscribed to my channel and stay tuned, because there is more videos coming, and eventually there's going to be different kinds of text messages that I'm going to put together for all of you guys to be able to, use in the future on any kind of situation or any kind of predicament. And it's, so make sure you subscribe, because there's a lot more coming your way.